Alright, man, Torture Talk. Like, share, subscribe to the page. Hit the thumbs up button if you like the content. So today I want to be talking about, I'm gonna be talking about, I will be talking about Joe Buttons explaining what happened with Rory and Mal. And yeah, I think this is the way he explained it was very fascinating. And I listened to Rory and Mal. I don't listen to Rory and Mal, but I listened to what they said about Joe. And I think that what Rory and Mal said about Joe, I see why Joe is upset, because we're not even upset because I don't think Joe's upset, but I can understand why. Because the way Rory and Mal talks, the way they talk, I don't know what I'm talking about today, but the way they talk is as if Joe Buttons has lied to them and stole all this money from them. But they don't give the full story of what happened. So Joe breaks it down. We're going to listen to what Joe said. It's some audio. I'm going to listen to what he said, and I'm going to come back and discuss my feelings about Rory and Mal and their show and a couple other things. So we'll be back.
Like, what a slap in the face. That 40 grand that Rory mentions is his first month of Patreon pay. So imagine how I gotta feel handing you this type of coin, and I know that you don't even want to do this. You don't want to promote it. I had to force you here. Like, no, business wasn't going to continue to run that way. We had some talks, but I think that was too late by then.
With regards to the 40 grand that you now said that Rory mentioned, he made it seem as if that was his monthly salary cap.
Nigga, if you're getting 40 grand a month, you niggas don't understand, right? Most niggas don't even make $3,500 a month. You know what I'm saying? Most niggas don't even make that. So if you're getting 40 grand a month, $40,000 a month. I want y'all to understand that. I believe if you make 50,000, I believe that's $1 million a year or something like that. I'm not sure. But I can't calculate it off the top of my head. I'm sorry. But 40 grand. The average person don't even make $2,500 a month. Maybe 35 a month. The average person makes less than that. There's no way you can tell me that you're complaining if you're making 40 grand a month. But I don't know if that's a month. I'm just saying.
Can't speak to anything that was said in that private meeting that I wasn't there for. I'll never know all the details from it. That whole I'll pay for production thing, maybe he did say that to them in that meeting while they were saying whatever they were saying. I have no idea. There's no way for me to ever know. As the nigga that was...
Oh, yeah, and that too. Rory took a meeting with, I believe, Spotify or somebody he took a meeting with, but behind Joe's back. Like, why would you do that? I don't understand that part.
Paying for every month. Nobody ever said to me, hey, I want to pay for something. The thing that's very different about this cast and that cast is this cast negotiates for the things that they want in their contract. I know Flip's antics during the year would make you think otherwise, but this cast, we stick to the contract. Whatever is in there is what's in there, so there's no room for the emotions. There's no room for none of the extras. No room for misinterpreting what the paper says. I think that's where I went wrong the first time. Like, I thought because y'all negotiated it, y'all knew what was in there. But their whole story is, oh, they told us not to sign it, and we signed it, and he stole. Well, which one is it? Is it I stole, or did you sign something that you shouldn't have signed? It can't be all these different things.
Well, they've been consistent in saying that, they had it in their contract. They could ask for the accounting whenever.
I mean, here's my thing. A lot of you niggas are not lawyers. And a lot of you niggas are just y'all Facebook law officers. You know what I'm saying? A lot of you niggas don't know nothing. Y'all don't even understand contracts. Y'all don't understand how contracts work. Y'all think that people could just walk away, go in, do this, do that. Most of you niggas are like that. I'm sure that Joe Buttons, he got off Def Jam. I'm sure he knows a lot about contracts. I'm sure he does. He's been on Spotify, Patreon. He's been on Complex, and he's always gotten out of it. He's been on Amalgam Digital, and he always got out of it. So I'm sure he knows about contracts. Joe Buttons don't strike me as the person. Now, I've been following him for a long time. He don't strike me as a person who steals from people. He doesn't. He doesn't, because if that's the case, then he has other people that work for him that been working for him, and they haven't said that he stole from them. So I'm not going to sit here and tell you that maybe there was a misunderstanding between Rory and Mal and Joe. Maybe Rory and Mal didn't understand the contracts, but I have to stand on the side of history and what I believe that doesn't happen, because he hasn't showed that. Joe has never showed that. Joe has been the guy who's always showed integrity when it comes to certain things. I never seen him didn't show. If he believes something, he stands on it. I never seen him come out and do something without standing on it. Even if you're going to bring up the abuse allegations that he had and everything, he was up front about it. He didn't lie about it. He said it in his songs. So let me just finish.
And at some point, you stop providing it. This is what they said. You stop providing it to their likeness, and that it was in their contract that they could ask whenever they
No,
want.
it was in the contract that you can ask for accounting whenever you want to ask for it, but that was the extent of your privileges. So you ask, and I give it to you, and that's the end. Their problem was that wasn't the end for them. They had more questions, they had more thoughts, they were left to just come up with it together on their own. But for me, I was being nice. And
that's another thing too that I think a lot of people don't notice. This Rory and Mal, I don't know if this is, I don't know. But I'm sure that Joe Buttons, the Rory and Mal part, Rory and Mal, that I'm sure that was owned by Joe. I'm sure that all that was owned by Joe. And I'm sure that Joe let them, I believe he let them out their contract, and they kept their likeness. They kept their likeness. They used the same Rory and Mal. They used the same thing that was on Joe's show. So I'm sure they kept this. So all this Joe stole from me, I don't know if they went to court and they settled it. I don't know how that went. But I do know that if it's Joe's IP and Joe had all that and Joe let y'all use that, you know what I'm saying? Because that's what it is. It could have been, y'all could have said a different name. But I believe Joe even coined the phrase, the Mixie Boys, Rory and Mal. You know what I'm saying? So let's keep it going.
where the disconnect was. Like, they think I'm being a dick, and I think I'm being nice. Like, in reality, any businessman that's running the business I run is supposed to put their car on the thingamajiggy, on expenses. How you travel, it's an expense.
Oh, okay.
That
BX Native.
No, you shut
Go
the
ahead.
for a minute, because you a Rory Avenger too. That's an expense. Let's have a learnable moment. I did not do that. Not a once. Some of the clothes, that's an expense. That's things that your normal accountant is going to tell you to do for your tax purposes at the end of the. I did not do that. You know how many things just did not happen that should have happened? Like, right, to be fighting with some that you're doing this for? Like, no. No, it was.
And that right there is another thing too. I used to have a recording studio, and I paid for everything. But it was so many guys in there that was a part of the organization, and he didn't give a dime. They didn't pay towards nothing. You know what I'm saying? They didn't pay towards the electric bill, nothing. And guess what? As soon as the studio got shut down and the electric bill came up, guess who had to pay it? Me. None of the equipment, nothing. The stuff that got built, paid for. All the people that was there didn't pay for nothing. And if they did, it was insignificant. Enough to where they can recoup that right back. Maybe $5, $10 here. But it wasn't nothing of any groundbreaking thing where you can move it. Where you could say, okay, yeah, this really took this to the next level. So I understand exactly what Joe is saying. Y'all not including y'all expenses. I was paying for everything.
Disrespect at the highest level, and then you use the airwaves to rebel. Like now, I feel like you slapping me in the face, you slapping the fans in the face. I don't know what's going on.
They say they were never paid from the YouTube.
They weren't paid from a YouTube.
How is that possible? Because the podcasts aren't like, is that not considered podcast, or is that just the spot of the
No,
audio?
that's not.
See, this is what I mean by people don't even know what they be talking about, right? And they just automatically side with people that they feel sorry for, right? Why would they be paid for the YouTube? Joe Budden started that on his own. He started that. Why would they be paid from that? Joe Budden TV. Why would they be paid from the YouTube? You know what I'm saying? Obviously, when they come on, he's going to pay them for working for him. But why would they be paid from YouTube? That doesn't make sense. That's like me starting a YouTube channel and I make all this money off the content that I'd already made. And then I hire somebody. We have a falling out. And then they say, well, I need to be paid for the YouTube. All the stuff that you did. So I got to pay you for all the stuff that I did before. That doesn't make sense. We ain't going through no damn divorce. What the fuck is going on here?
I consider nothing. That's Joe Budden. Back when YouTube was an afterthought, like not even a thought, when nobody cared about YouTube, when you couldn't post things longer than 90 seconds and 3 minutes on YouTube, that was Joe Budden there building a YouTube. So when you
And a lot of things I
when
agree
you
with.
come to me and say, "Hey, I want some of your YouTube," I'm gonna say, "No, that's a hard line. That's a hard line. There is no room for discussion in terms of this. If you want to continue to discuss this, then you can work elsewhere." So
Like
Rory would never
Charlemagne
be
might not.
entitled to 1 red cent from my YouTube. Paul would never
Okay.
get 1 red cent from my YouTube. Hey, let's get back to the courtesy. The courtesy, like I said then, is, and you'll never find another earth to say this. Hey, all of this footage that I'm paying for that's mine, I'll give it to you and you go build yours. I said that out my mouth. I
Facts.
said that to a
Facts.
friend out of my mouth. They took it as a slight.
Yes, I
Yo,
did.
it's the same thinking. I don't stop Danny from posting clips. There's mad bootleggers that I don't stop from posting clips. The more clips, the better. If the most popular members from the show go and start their own YouTube, YouTube is as big as the world.
That's a
The
fact.
more, the better. Rory, take the same
It,
clips. You go start a page. You go start a page. Everybody go do their thing. You monetize your own. See what this takes. See how much it costs. See the work that goes into it. Don't just come with a hand out begging. Again, you have to establish.
And I just said that. That's exactly what people do. They want you to build them up and they want you to take care of them and then pay them at the same time. They want you to do everything. Any and everything you could think of. They want you to do all of it for them. They don't want to have to do nothing.
These things before you put them on a paper so the paper reflects it. A lot of it that I know that it's provocative and juicy, but a lot of this stuff is put to bed just with what you decide to put on the paper. There's shit there that just can't be argued about or debated, or you could be emotional about it or mad about it, but it's misplaced anger. It's misplaced anger. It would be like me beefing with Webb and Nitty because of the contract that I signed in 2001. It was a lot of fucked up shit in that contract, y'all. Like it was in hindsight, I feel like I shouldn't have signed it, but I did sign it, and it granted me the opportunity to go on and do everything that I ended up doing. And I love both of them today. Those are my guys because they didn't have to do none of that. And they did what you're supposed to do on that side of the table. All that emotional business is over with for that. It's over with for that.
So wait, so Joe, why did you ever decide to do a profit split with them in the beginning? Why it wasn't always salaries from the start?
Because it's a courtesy. You want to allow people to grow with the growth. Again, I said we bet.
But that's a dumbass question. Why would he do a proper split with niggas from the beginning if it's his podcast? That's like somebody coming in to your show and you saying, you know what, bro, I've been doing this for 10 years, but since you came in, I'm gonna do a proper split with you with everything. Like, that doesn't make sense, bro. Why would he do that? Why? Why would he do that? It's his platform. You just work there. Mark Zuckerberg don't tell the employees at Facebook that they gonna get a proper split. Like, no. It's a reason why you have a CEO, you have an owner and a CEO. That's it. Everybody else is employees, bro. Even the CEO is an employee to a certain extent. You can't say, oh well, yeah, that's what he should do. Just do a proper split. Like, what? They worked for him and they agreed to the salary that they was given. It's crazy.
On us. So, yeah, if this thing gets this big, you should grow with that. I don't feel like the people that contributed should be locked in to any fee because it assumes you're going to work. You did the work. You're going to work. But
Are you currently involved in any litigation from the Rory and Mal situation?
not at all. Why would I be?
Just asking because
What?
that seemed
There
to be
is
something
no
that was
there
on the
is
list.
no stop. That's more from the Rory Vengers on this side. Glad I'm here.
I'm not a Rory Avenger. I'm just
But
saying
it's
you alluded
fine.
to
If
it.
it don't apply, let it fly. The point is there is no room for anything to be litigated. There's no room. Like the contract
Well,
is what it is, very clear. There's no court case coming. It's not oh, I'm standing on business, so I'm not suing. I've never been audited. I've never been audited. You cannot continue to say that this is a thief and you've never audited. That means that you're going off my numbers and my paperwork. The shit I handed over when you asked for accounting. So do you trust the accounting or not? It gets
it
tricky.
seems
It gets
it
tricky.
seems like
And because a lot of y'all don't know what the niggas be talking about, niggas get off lies. Nah, we here today.
Yeah, man. I feel Joe, man. I think that Rory and Mal, they trying to figure out a way to get whatever they wanted to get out of Joe. And I think that they still is harping on it. Conspiracy theory, I think that Joe and Rory and Mal still works together. That's just my conspiracy theory. But other than that, I definitely think that they're holding on to something that's not there. And they just need to paint Joe as the villain because everybody has to have a villain in this story. And I'm kind of glad that Joe and Rory and Mal not doing the show no more because I think that they had Rory had extreme takes sometimes, and I didn't like his takes on certain things. And Mal was Mr. Laid Back, always too cool for anything. It never fell for this, or that never happened to me, and blah 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 blah. He couldn't just be honest about anything to me. You know what I'm saying? Certain things I kind of felt like he was lying about. He just pretended like he didn't do that, and it was like, oh, I would never admit that. And I mean, I could understand why he would never admit certain things on camera. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, I just didn't feel the authenticity between them. You know what I'm saying? Now, what we have now, the Joe Budden podcast, I stopped watching Joe Budden podcast because I think that they were talking about stuff I really didn't care for, like a lot of the new age rappers, and they was trying to say they was fire and all this stuff. But then I kind of came back when they started talking more about Kendrick and Drake and the beef between the two, and they were saying J. Cole was gonna wash Kendrick and all this stuff, and you know what I'm saying? So when they did that, I started, you know what I mean? And now I understand, like, they have a very good dynamic between them, from Queen's Flip to Ice and Ish and Parks, Melissa, you know what I'm saying, and Amani. They have a great dynamic. And I think that their show is like watching a talk show. You know what I'm saying? And it's better than a lot of talk shows that I've seen. So because they have a bunch of different dynamics. I do wish that they actually had another rapper on there. Well, they do have a musician. And I also wish that they had somebody. Well, then again, I think that falls in the same thing. I think Amani, he's not from the West Coast, but I believe he's been on the West Coast for a while. So, but I think this is very fascinating that they're doing what they're doing. But I side with Joe on this, man. I'm sorry. I think Rory and Mal are a bunch of jokes right now. I think they're a bunch of jokes, and I think that they, especially Mal, I think he really, really be meat riding. He meat rides the hell out of Drake. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes I feel like he thinks he's in OVO. You know what I'm saying? In some cases, he might be. You know what I'm saying? But either way, like I said, it is what it is. But hey, man, make sure y'all like, share, subscribe. Thank y'all very much for watching, man. I appreciate y'all, man. If I haven't earned your subscription today, please subscribe and talk amongst each other in the comments. Just keep it respectable. You know what I'm saying? They're calling me the hidden gem. Thank y'all for calling me that, because I definitely want to get to 1 million subscribers. And if you guys can help me out, share my content. Thank you. See y'all. Peace. Bye.